Hey, Premier Gospel. We're Ken
and Mary of The Humble Penny, and our mission, guys, is to help millions of people achieve financial joy in their lifetime.
We want to help you guys move from a place of fear, worry and stress when it comes to your money to a place where you think about your money from a place of purpose and joy.
So we recently heard in the news that the government are considering introducing a 50-year mortgage that can be passed down the generations.
Yeah. This is quite a lot, and the reason they're doing this is because house prices continue to skyrocket, and to buy a house in England, you would be buying it at around 9.1 times your salary, compared to around 4.5 times which they used to use for affordability checks. So is a 50-year mortgage really a good idea? We want to just share with you guys our thoughts, some advantages and disadvantages, and we'll then conclude on what we think.
Okay, so the first advantage is that it will allow people to build up equity rather than pay rent, which is considered dead money, and some people can end up paying less money in the mortgage than they would do if they were paying rent on a monthly basis. So advantage number 2 is that it allows more people to get on the property ladder. Why is that? It's because you can now borrow what you need because you can pay it off in a longer term.
Now, all right, all of that sounds great. You're like, yeah, I can get onto the property ladder, I can pay it off for longer. But there are disadvantages that are definitely worth bringing up. The first disadvantage is that it creates generational debt instead of generational wealth. This reminds me of a proverb, and the proverb says, the rich rule over the poor and the borrower is slave to the lender. Okay, so that really tells us, imagine like 50 years, how much interest could compound over a 50-year period with a mortgage. That is definitely a disadvantage worth bringing up, because that essentially passes down to the next generation, which is not really what we would like to be doing.
Exactly. It really essentially passes down a burden to the next generation and a liability, as opposed to, like you said, passing down wealth.
And the second disadvantage of this idea is that it actually artificially inflates property prices.
Yes.
It increases property prices because it just obviously encourages more demand. It encourages more people to buy property that they don't necessarily, they can't necessarily afford.
No.
But because we spread it over a longer period of time, it appears as though they can afford it.
So in conclusion, the disadvantages far outweigh the advantages because it encourages people to live way above their means and essentially passes on the burden of the debt to the next generation, because like we said, the chances are of this person being able to pay off the 50-year mortgage in their lifetime is very slim.
Yeah, and in addition to that, one does not become financially free basically in their lifetime, because they will just carry on paying for debts and risk actually taking on a mortgage into retirement where they might not have the income to support it. Overall, with all these things, we'd say stay positive, stay practical, and stay prayerful.
That's it for today, guys. More from us same time next week, but in the meantime, feel free to follow us at The Humble Penny on Instagram and on YouTube. And as always,
in all things be thankful and seek joy. Take care, guys. Happy Tuesday.